Hey, it's Dave, and welcome back to another episode of The Final Cut, the show where we dissect deleted scenes from the scripts that could have redefined the movies that you know and love. On the last episode, we talked about the 4 killers from Scream 2. Well, actually, we talked about 3. The 4th one is in a different episode. But with there being so many killers that were popped up in Scream 2, what did that mean for Mickey? How did his role change if he was not one of the killers in Scream 2? We're going to dive into that on this episode.
Welcome to The Final Cut.
We have some merch to check out, and it's inspired by our discussions on the Scream franchise itself. So, are you on the Stu train and you think Stu lives, or do you think that Stu's dead? Show your allegiance by buying one of those shirts on our store, along with various other Scream-inspired shirts. Now let's dive into this episode. Now, while Mickey might not have been a ghost face in the original script, he, like some of the other characters, had different roles to flesh out the story's plot, leaving us to dissect whether Mickey would become a beloved member of the Core 4 that would go on to appear in the next film, or was his fate always sealed in blood? As we discussed in the Pop 5 episode on Scream's Lost Sequels, Mickey's character was brought in to fill a void of a character that was missing from this sequel, Randy. After the events in Woodsboro, Randy and Sidney would have gone their separate ways, and Sidney would find herself in a new friend group, where Mickey was only associated with Sidney through his girlfriend's close relationship with her. In the original script, we first meet Mickey debating the merits of sequels with his girlfriend Hallie, showcasing his playful, film-savvy personality in film class.
What happened in that theater is a direct result of the movie itself.
That is so moral majority. You can't blame real-life violence on entertainment.
What? Wait a second. Yes, you can. Don't you even watch the news?
Yeah, hello. The murderer was wearing a ghost mask, okay? Just like in the movie, it's directly responsible.
No, it's not. Movies are not responsible for our actions.
It's a classic case of life imitating art, imitating life.
Mickey and Hallie stand firm on their example, Aliens, how it was better than the first film in the franchise. Sidney watched from the back of the room as Derek chimes in that horror film sequels are only as good as its villains. But even with strong characters, the films eventually become diluted and less scary with every sequel that comes after the first 2 films, citing Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees as examples. Throughout the script, Mickey's loyalty and affection for Hallie shines through a series of smaller scenes, as does his lack of familiarity with Sidney's past. He isn't fully aware of the Woodsboro tragedies that took place, and this is made obvious when we see Randy return in the film, who he mistakes for her ex-boyfriend from her hometown during a discussion over Sid's safety and serial killers in the college cafeteria, where Hallie and Joel describe all the traits of a killer, which oddly resemble him. Mickey then shifts the focus of the conversation by jumping up on top of the cafeteria table to serenade Hallie. After a few more minor scenes, Mickey is the subject of another scene that was changed to Derek in the film. After learning that Derek was dumped by Sidney and he is trying to console him, Mickey is kidnapped by one of the campus fraternities and subjected to a humiliating prank where he is chained to a tree and doused with syrup, eggs, and other foods.
I was in the wrong place, but I must have been the right time. I was in the right place, but I must have been the wrong time. I was in the right vein,
with his only means of escape being if Hallie shows up to set him free during the party. However, she never shows up at the party as the remaining cast of characters are forced to split up in order to find safety and also help crack the clues to who the copycat killers are that have descended on the campus. As the twilight hours begin to dwindle and the party dies down, Mickey is left tied to a tree, having passed out from all the festivities. Just when things seemed bleakest and that it was likely where he was going to spend the night, Sidney, fresh from a ghost-face encounter, stumbles upon him and frantically struggles to break the chain with a shovel that she found in a nearby shed. Their short-lived reunion is shattered as the ghost face who attacked her in the police car has caught up with her. A fight ensues between them, Sydney having the upper hand because she is armed with the shovel, which she manages to fend off the killer just long enough for a second ghost face to appear. They manage to corner her. Despite having the shovel, Sid now has no means of escape because even if she were to strike first, she would be left open to an attack by the second killer. As the killers close in for the kill, Mickey has managed to wiggle himself free and tackles them out of her way, allowing Sydney to run off and put some distance between them, before turning back to help, only it's too late. She watches as both ghost faces surround Mickey and begin driving their knives into him, killing him, and then turning towards her at the same time, just like we saw happen in Scream 6 after Chad was attacked. And there you have it. Many of the characteristics that we saw on screen with Derek were originally meant for Mickey, which I think would have been delivered playfully in a way that only Timothy Olyphant can do without making us gag on the character. And it may have made his death a little bit more tragic than what we got with Derek's. Personally, I'm happy Derek took a slug to the chest. I didn't like that character at all. Mickey being in that role and Timothy Olyphant delivering those lines may have made me like that character. Now, what are your thoughts? Would this character resonate more with you Scream fans, or would it have been less? And just because we saw him get stabbed on the screen like we've seen some of the other characters, would there have been an opportunity to bring him back in a follow-up film and make him a true fixture of that core four? Would it have been great to have seen him live on in the franchise as one of the friends, or were you happy with him being a ghost face?
You should really deal with your trust issues, Sid. I mean, poor Derek. He's completely innocent. He's such a nice boy, too. He's bright and funny and handsome. Decent singing voice, and he was gonna be a doctor. This was just the kind of boy you'd like to take home to Mom, if you had a mom.
Fuck you!
Oh, so vulgar. Did Billy let you talk to him this way?
Billy was a sick fuck just like you.
No. Billy was a sick fuck who tried to get away with it. Mickey is a sick fuck who wants to get caught. Yeah!
Let me know by dropping that in the comments. Now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do. Thank you for spending this time with me. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Be on the lookout for some new shows like Lost Horror Media and a What If Randy Survived Scream 2 4-part series that's coming up. Anyway, until the next, see ya.